most costly form of tax you face isn't financial. It's the wisdom tax, the years invested in learning lessons that could have been grasped in mere moments. Many individuals spend years uncovering insights that a select few realize much sooner. Life operates on discernible patterns that, once identified, can entirely change your perspective. The gap between your current situation and what you could achieve isn't merely about knowledge. It's about applying the right knowledge at the right moment. Consider this. How often have you finally grasped a concept and thought, I wish I'd known this long ago? We've all experienced that sudden clarity, where one insight renders years of hardship pointless. It feels like we're playing the same game, but some have received the rulebook while others are still learning through difficult trial and error. What's intriguing is that these insights aren't hidden. They're right in front of us, obscured only by our preconceived notions about reality. In the following sections, I'll share the mental frameworks that took me years to uncover, but could have spared me from needless struggles. Let's begin with a pivotal understanding. Your mental frameworks shape what's possible for you. Chapter 1. Upgrading your mental frameworks. Your mental frameworks act as the unseen operating system of your life. They determine which opportunities you recognize, which solutions appear plausible, and which outcomes seem attainable. Yet, most of us never take the time to evaluate them. We're like fish oblivious to the water surrounding us. Have you ever noticed how two individuals can respond to the same situation with drastically different views? That phenomenon is grounded in mental frameworks, not personality differences. For instance, many people view time through a lens of scarcity. There's never enough time. But what if experiencing time abundance is indeed possible through intention rather than sheer efficiency? What if, rather than cramming more tasks into your day, you fundamentally reconsidered your relationship with time? I'm curious how we'll dedicate years to mastering software like Excel, but we'll take a mere 20 minutes to reflect on our own thinking processes. Here's a reality check. Your mental frameworks can either be a pathway to possibilities or a hindrance to progress, and enhancing them is the most impactful activity you can pursue. However, it's crucial to acknowledge this. Recognizing your own mental frameworks is as challenging as attempting to view the back of your head without a mirror. You need tools for reflection. One effective method is inversion, thinking from the desired outcome backwards. Another approach is actively seeking disproof of your beliefs rather than just validation. These upgrades to your mental frameworks can significantly change how you face challenges, yet they demand something many resist, embracing deliberate discomfort. Chapter 2. The value of attention. Now, let's discuss the most precious resource you possess, your attention. In a world designed to fragment and monetize it, the ability to focus is a superpower. Yet, many of us never learn how to manage our attention. Instead, we're taught to manage our time. It's akin to being given a leaky bucket and told to collect more water without addressing the holes. I took far too long to realize that managing attention is infinitely more crucial than managing time. You may have the same 24 hours as anyone else, but how you direct your focused attention during those hours shapes everything. Most people's attention is splintered across countless inputs, outputs, and distractions. Yet, what if you practiced radical selectivity? This introduces a counterintuitive concept, the strength of selective ignorance. We are in an era where information access isn't the issue, it's filtering. Yet, we continue to act as if increased information guarantees better choices. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose when a simple cup of water suffices. The wisdom that can change lives isn't about acquiring more knowledge. It's about knowing the right things and applying them consistently. In our information-saturated world, we often neglect to make room for integration and action. It's the difference between hoarding ingredients and actually preparing a meal. Here's a shift in perspective. What if you treated your attention with the same reverence as your most valuable financial assets? Chapter 3. Rethinking decision-making. Your life ultimately reflects the sum of your decisions, yet few of us have been formally taught how to make effective decisions. We study calculus but not how to choose a career. We memorize historical facts but not how to assess life alternatives. It's truly remarkable when you pause to consider it. Here are 3 decision-making enhancements that transformed everything for me. First, the 72-hour rule. For any significant choice, allow at least 3 days before making a commitment. This interval creates a gap between impulse and action, where sound judgment can flourish. Second-order thinking. Most individuals focus only on the immediate consequences of their choices, but truly effective decision makers ask, and then what? What could arise from this? Third, and most impactful, inversion. Instead of asking, how can I achieve what I desire? Consider, what's stopping me from reaching my goals? This simple realignment helps clarify issues that traditional forward thinking often overlooks. For instance, refrain from asking, how can I find success? Instead, ask, what factors contribute to my failures? The insights you uncover illuminate your actual barriers rather than mere theoretical routes. Isn't it intriguing how we'll deliberate over a $20 purchase for hours yet rarely question long-held beliefs? Here's the unifying insight. Most challenges are resolved not through clever solutions, but through better problem identification. If you're addressing the wrong problem, the quality of your solution becomes irrelevant. However, executing better decisions necessitates something most overlook entirely. Chapter 4. Bridging the implementation gap. There exists a significant divide between knowing and doing, a chasm termed the implementation gap. We're living in an age where access to information is unparalleled, yet genuine transformation often remains out of reach. Why? Due to our cultural tendency to overvalue knowledge while undervaluing action. Consider this, we often applaud someone who reads 100 books in a year more than someone who implements the insights from a single book. Much of the advice we receive can be likened to trying to install software on a computer lacking the appropriate operating system. The information may be valid, but the environment for application is incompatible. Here's a pivotal insight. Small, consistent actions are far more impactful than erratic bursts of effort. The principle of compounding affects everything, not just finances, but also your habits, relationships, and knowledge. They all amplify for good or ill. When you truly grasp this, you realize that minor daily actions are not merely supplementary. They are fundamental. This is why someone who meditates for just 10 minutes every day will achieve more transformation than someone who embarks on a weekend retreat once a year. Yet many struggle because they attempt to invoke change solely through willpower. This is akin to trying to steer a car by pushing it, possible in theory, yet highly inefficient. What if there is a more effective approach? Designing systems over relying on willpower. The design of your environment consistently outweighs willpower. This isn't merely motivational, it's mathematical. Remember, willpower is a limited and fluctuating resource, whereas your environment is always present. Upon realizing this, you'll shift from striving to be more disciplined to crafting settings that don't require discipline. We often express shock at our willpower's failure, as if human limitations were unexpected. It's like being astonished that gravity exists. The individuals you admire for their success aren't necessarily more disciplined. They have intentionally built systems that make achieving success the path of least resistance. This leads us to another contrarian insight: prioritize systems over goals. Goals are focused on the endpoint. Systems concentrate on the process. While goals provide direction, systems yield results. Understanding this distinction reveals a profound truth. The emphasis should be on the system, not the goal. For example, don't obsess over shedding 20 pounds. Instead, aim to create a system where healthy eating and regular exercise become the norm rather than the exception. Fascinatingly, once you establish a functional system, achieving your goals becomes a natural outcome. Yet, systems do not operate independently. They exist within relational contexts. Chapter 6. Unpacking relationship dynamics. Many interpersonal issues arise from one fundamental reality: uncommunicated expectations. We often anticipate others to adhere to guidelines they've never accepted. How often have you felt upset with someone over breaching an expectation you never actually voiced? I spent years feeling frustrated before recognizing this truth. Most conflicts stem from unmet emotional needs rather than factual disagreements. When someone expresses anger over dirty dishes, it seldom pertains to the dishes themselves. Instead, they symbolize deeper needs, such as respect or acknowledgement. Once you grasp this pattern, you start to see it everywhere. The surface content of a disagreement rarely encompasses its true cause. Here's another significant insight regarding relationships. People remember how you made them feel more than the specific words you used. We invest substantial energy into our phrasing, yet it's the emotional impressions we leave that truly matter. This isn't just sentimental wisdom, it's a practical reality. Relationships also reveal an intriguing truth. They are more influenced by who you are becoming rather than by what you do. This leads us to a potentially transformative realization: the critical importance of intentionally selecting your peers. You may have heard that you're the average of the 5 individuals you spend the most time with, but it runs deeper than that. Your peer group not only shapes your thoughts, it defines the range of thoughts accessible to you. We often become so focused on networking that we neglect the fundamental relationship skill of authentic connection. Isn't it ironic that we sometimes trust the reviews of strangers on platforms like Yelp more than our own instincts about people? These patterns in relationships have a direct correlation to how we pursue success and achievement. Chapter 7: Navigating the Success Paradox. Many individuals chase success following methods that are practically guaranteed to hinder it. This is what is known as the success paradox. We seek certainty in an inherently uncertain world and adhere to prescribed paths in a landscape that rewards originality. I'd like to share 3 success insights that radically altered my perspective. First, the real cost of perfectionism isn't failure. It's the opportunities we forfeit. While you're refining version 1.0, someone else is already gathering feedback on version 0.5. Second, success arises from reverse engineering rather than following prescribed formulas. Examine what has worked for others, extract the underlying principles, and customize them for your unique context. Thirdly, and perhaps most unexpectedly, embracing the art of strategic quitting has significant rewards. The most accomplished individuals are not merely adept at initiating ventures. They excel at discontinuing activities that don't align with their broader vision. Once you grasp this, you recognize that persistence is not inherently virtuous. It's only beneficial when directed toward the appropriate goals. We often celebrate entrepreneurs who succeed after 10 attempts, yet we seldom ponder the question: what if they had redirected their efforts after 3 tries? Could they have succeeded sooner? This realization emphasizes that many of us have been approaching life as if it were a challenging game, simply because we didn't read the instructions. Chapter 8: Transforming Through Identity. Most attempts at change falter because they target the incorrect level. They focus on behavior, while true change should begin with identity. Consider this: when someone identifies as a runner, they don't rely on willpower to jog. It's simply a reflection of who they are. Habits that stem from identity foster lasting change, whereas those based solely on goals frequently falter. That's why someone who asserts, "I'm the type of person who exercises regularly," will invariably outperform someone who merely states, "I need to exercise more." To make this more tangible, instead of saying, "I wish to write a book," say, "I am a writer." Notice how these phrases shift in meaning. One centers on possessing something, the other reflects a state of being. We've all encountered individuals who have struggled to quit smoking for years, but the ones who succeed often declare, "I'm no longer a smoker." It can be surprising to realize that many of your choices were not entirely your own. The most profound shifts in identity occur when you internalize this powerful truth. You are not merely your thoughts. You are the observer of those thoughts. When this realization genuinely resonates, you cease to be a victim of your mental patterns and begin to design them. Chapter 9: Bringing Together Wisdom. All these concepts interconnect into a cohesive understanding. The mental frameworks you possess influence which opportunities you recognize. How you manage your attention shapes those frameworks. Your decision-making process determines your choices. Your approach to implementation dictates whether knowledge becomes transformative. Systems guarantee lasting change. Relationships influence the context of your experiences. Your pursuit of success shapes your overall trajectory, and your sense of identity governs if all of this feels authentic and sustainable. When you grasp how these elements interact, you cultivate something remarkable: wisdom, not just information, but a deep, embodied understanding that alters how you live. The wisdom tax is real. Most individuals will spend years uncovering these patterns, but you don't have to. Capturing screenshots and notes may help recall information, but true transformation lies in implementation. And here's a piece of wisdom I wish someone had shared with me 3 decades ago. The goal is not to gather more knowledge, it's to require less of it. Understanding yourself is the bedrock of all other understanding. If you genuinely comprehend how your mind operates, everything else will become clearer.
Thanks for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated with your new releases. There's even more valuable advice and self-development ideas coming away.